Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a flip through of my January catch-all planner. I've already taken out all of the relevant dashboards that I use because I'm going to basically, once this video is over, just move all of that stuff I'm going to show you out and put it into its respective individual planners and move in February. So we're just going to go through it real quick. I'm going to skip over some of the things I've covered already in previous videos, like my goals section, more in the beginning of my planner, and we're going to just jump right in to the main start of my planner, which is my faith section. So this is my faith section. I recently just did this project, this planner project. I did a video and it's really cute. I really love it. Glad that I have it here as a little reminder when I do my faith section. That's how I start my day. And then we go into the January month layout. So I'll go ahead and flip to that. And I'm using the monthly layout planner. So it's set up a little bit differently than most planners, but it's from the Happy Planner. And you have a normal monthly spread like you see here. I'm using it this month just to write down what verse of the day I was writing down in my planner, and I'll go into that a little bit more detail. This was okay. It felt a little redundant, so next month I'm going to change it up and I'm going to do more of a gratitude style layout, which you'll see. I'm going to do a plan with me video so you can see how I'm setting everything up. I also didn't do any decor just because it was my first month in this layout and I really didn't know what I wanted it to look like. So this was basically it, nothing fancy, and it just gave me a little bit of an opportunity to practice some lettering and see the verse that I did each day. So this is the monthly overview, like dashboard thing. I really didn't end up using it very much. I did use this to track my 3 elements of what I'm trying to do spiritually each day, which is my morning prayer, my Bible reading, and my writing of a daily verse. So I did track it here, but I also have a page in my goals section that's going to track it throughout the entire year. So what I did is I just tracked it every day here, and then like yesterday I went through and I marked off that goal sheet. So let me see if I have that. I can just show you where I'm at with that. Yeah, here it is. So this is my quality time with God, morning prayer, daily reading, and a verse of the day. So I just went ahead and transfer all those check marks over to this page, and now I'm ready to go. So back to that. So yeah, and I did set myself up with a monthly goal that went pretty well. I did hope to volunteer this month, but I've been dealing with some asthma and allergy stuff, and then with the coronavirus and all that good stuff, I don't know if it's a great idea for me to be out and about with people, just in case, even the regular flu can really put me out with this condition. So I'm trying to be a little bit more, a bit more of a homebody, just to protect myself. So yeah, I didn't really get too much done in that area, but yeah, so this layout, I had some ideas for it, but I really just didn't end up using it. I didn't really turn to this page very often, only for those monthly trackers, and so next month we'll see. I'm going to do a bit more decorating on this spread in hopes of using it a bit more. So this was my first spread of writing in my daily verse, and I started out with just putting in some little text stickers from the Faith mini sticker book that I have. And then I saw, maybe like 4 or 5 days in, somebody else's monthly spread, and they were dating each of the little boxes, and I thought that was a good idea, so I added in the numbers. And I started out, I just really didn't know how I wanted it to look, didn't know what pen I wanted to use or anything. I did get an idea from a girl on Instagram. She was doing a lettering, like a quote of the day type thing, and doing some kind of lettering, but adding a little bit more variety, which I think I started here, where she was kind of putting in more imagery and more visual, like telling a story with the lettering. So I kind of liked that idea. So I started to try and do that the best that I could think of as I went through, and I think it started to come about a little bit better as I went through. So this was my first week, or not week, I guess it was my first spread, so first half of the month. And then this spread, I decided that I was going to use just black pen with highlights in different colors, and I liked that a lot. I did do a pretty good job, I think, on some of these. I really like this guy, and just some of them came out better than others, but it was just good to be thinking about what I was writing versus just kind of being more mechanical about it, because then I was trying to figure out, well, how can I represent certain words. So this was a really great thing for me, just because I'm focusing in on scripture, which is one of my goals. I'm practicing lettering, which is another one of my goals, and it also kind of got me to be more thoughtful about what I was doing. So that's the spread. Again, I think I'm going to add some more decor, maybe to the top, something a little bit more simplified, and for next month. So again, look out for that plan with me. It should be coming in, and actually, by the time you see this, the plan with me should be out. So check that out if you haven't seen it. And then this is unused. I don't know how I would use this, to be honest. I'm not much of a journaler. I don't really do a lot with that, so I might just glue these pages together, and that way I don't have to see two empty pages. But yeah, so that was my January and my faith section. Now we're going to go into my daily section. So this is the next, like a planner, if you will, in my catch-all. And this one is my own printable from my Squaird Plans Etsy shop. So I've used this divider from an old Happy Planner that I did not end up using the actual planner itself, and then glued the page on, and that way I could have a divider with my printable. So this was my January monthly spread. I did have a few goals for myself this month, which most of them I did, and then I just kind of kept track of things that I wanted to make sure I was going to and doing. So I think this is a really nice spread. I'm trying to use my monthlies more, but because I have so many of them, so many planners, this one is just more of like immediate things that I need to be aware of, things I'm doing. And then this was my first spread of the year. This was the one I was completely unprepared for, and basically did a plan as I go style of planning, like just laying stickers down each day. I really didn't like it as far as the having to think and put stickers down each day. I really like having it pre-set up. But I think in the end it turned out okay, especially with the stickers that I used. I think I only used one sticker book, like maybe one of the seasonal sticker books, and that way I didn't have to think too hard each day what stickers I was going to use. But yeah, so this was my very first spread, and it was during vacation week that I wasn't ready, so when I came back to it I was like, I gotta get back on track. So yeah, so that was it. And then this was really like my first spread of the year, the one that I really did and planned out like normal, and really love the colors on this guy. Love the pink and the green for some reason. Like, I'm not a big pink fan, but I've been using it a lot, and I love teal, so teal always goes with everything. And yeah, I really just love the way this spread turned out. So it's really brought me joy, kind of kicked things off for me in the beginning of the year. And then this was the rainbow spread with the little quotes down the edge. A little functional as far as its layout. It's not my normal thing, but I think it worked out pretty well. I had my checklist all on one side, and then I had my focus boxes in the middle, and then I was adding little tidbits on the sides just as I went, just to add a little fun and variety. But yeah, so this one was a really fun spread. This spread was really nice as well. I liked the teal green color and the purple. I have plan with me's of all of these if you are interested, except for that very first one, the plan as I go. And yeah, so this one was just kind of like my normal thing. I like to mix things up and just have little moments here and there, and that really turned out pretty well. I like this one a lot. And this one is the last one of the month. It's actually Sunday, so I'm pretty much done with this spread. This was the Dream Seeker Desert one. I really thought this was an interesting one. I don't normally like the animal heads, which I mentioned before, so that using that was a little bit different for me, but I think it didn't really draw my attention like I thought it would, which was nice. And the color scheme was nice and peaceful. I liked that, and I've been feeling kind of sick, especially this last week, so it's, you know, I've been trying to get stuff done. I've been pretty productive, surprisingly, even though I'm sick, but like when you get to my health section, you'll see how things have kind of dropped off a little bit. But overall, I really think that, you know, having the spread laid out and even though I'm not feeling well, working through it has really helped me keep me productive, which has been great. Okay, so that is the end of January and in my daily, so that's like my daily schedule. This will all be moved out in a second, and I'll be putting in February into its place, as well as moving in the dashboards to divide up my section. So the next section is my health section, and I've had this little guy in here since last year, and I just love how fun and, I don't know, it's got a lot going on, and I like how creative feeling it is. Kind of reminds me of the 90s for some reason, Saved by the Bell. If you guys ever saw that show, the beginning of the credits and stuff kind of had similar feels to it, in my opinion. But yeah, so I just like having these little healthy habit reminders here just to keep me motivated. And then I've got my quote here in the back just as another reminder, a little encouragement. And I've been tracking my weight, and also I put in my measurements for the beginning of the year. One thing I haven't done is actually taken a picture. I meant to do that, and I still haven't done it. I just haven't gotten the motivation to do it. So, but that stays here in the front, and then I should be having some new trackers inserted here pretty soon, because I need to track some other things and have some other home bases for some of the things I like. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming. So this was my January layout for my health section, and I started out pretty generic, not a lot going on. I just tracked my steps. But then as I started feeling kind of sick, I got an actual cold, and then it just started to really go back down. I had a lot of allergies and asthma stuff. So I started to try to track any weirdness that was going on with my health as well, just writing them in. And I put my goals down here. I really wasn't able to do most of those, unfortunately. I tried. At the beginning of the month it looked good, but it just didn't really happen in the end. So yeah, I've just been tracking that. Here's my health section. This was a really good one, I thought, for being planned day by day. So that's the same month or same week I did a day-by-day plan. And again, this planner is in my Etsy shop as well. It's a health planner, and so I'm using that, and I did the same thing with the divider here. So this divider was from an old Happy Notes that I wasn't using the divider for anything else, and just stuck it down. So yeah, so this is a printable, available in my shop if you are interested. Check that out. But yeah, so back to the spread. I used the new fitness sticker book, and just kind of thought I would put like a little circle quote every day, and then I ended up adding in these kind of to get me started. But yeah, and then I just put in stickers as I went and tracked my workouts and my normal thing here. I do my stats, and this one I just wrote them in, just because I didn't want to bother trying to figure out stat stickers every day. And I really liked the way it turned out, actually, so I might do something like this again. I think I really like how clean it looks. So yeah, stay tuned. Maybe I'll do something like this again. But I did not, again, I'm not a real fan of planning day by day, but because of the way that my health tracking is structured, it wasn't quite as bad as like a daily thing. So since I kind of knew every day what I needed, it worked out a lot better than on the daily schedule. And this was my second week in my health planner. This one was fun. I will say that setting it up was not fun, looking for this blue color, very hard to find, but using it was fun. There was a lot of color and kept me kind of bright and motivated, so that was good. Really, really enjoyed this spread. I loved I loved it when it was just first set up, and then even when I filled it out, I think it still looks just really pretty. Surprisingly, especially with this gold, like I'm not a big fan of gold in my health, and pastels are usually another one that I don't really like in my health spreads. They usually don't create energy, but I just really liked, this is more of a soothing type thing, just kind of brought me joy just to look at it and see prettiness. So that actually ended up working in my favor as far as looking at the spread and using it. But yeah, really one of my favorites, I think. And this one was also surprisingly good. I kind of threw it together at the last minute, but I really enjoyed this little gradient section. I liked that, and then just the color scheme was very energizing. And again, more of a clean look. I didn't feel as cluttered as you know, some spreads can look. So really enjoyed this spread as well. Just more so for the color scheme. And then this is the spread that we're currently in. Again, this is Sunday, so I can't really write in anything until Monday. I mean, I guess I could write it in, but I haven't even eaten anything yet. So that's going to stay empty for now, but I'll fill that in and then I'll move it out tomorrow. But yeah, so I love a rainbow spread. That always brings joy. It's just kind of, you know, fun and bubbly to look at. And yeah, again, I wasn't really feeling that great, so unfortunately I didn't give this as much love as I'd like to. But yeah, I think this one was a fun one. It's a good one for a health spread as far as rainbow colors, brights, fun. And that's the end of my health section for now. So like I said, tomorrow I'll move that out and then move in February. I'm actually probably going to move in February before I move out this last page, just because I need to start tracking some things in my monthly. So yeah, so that's it. My next section and the final section I think that we'll be going through is my social media. I also still have my budget and my work week spreads in here from January, and I'll be moving those out as well, but we're not going to go through those just yet. I think I've kind of got a system for my work week going, which is working pretty well now. It was rough in the beginning. It's a vertical layout spread, so maybe I'll show it to you sometime next month. But for now, we'll just stay where we're at. Okay, so let's get into the social media section. So this planner that I'm using in this section is the Homebody planner. It's the Happy Girl Homebody from Happy Planner. And so I use my monthly spread pretty much the same way I've used it since I started using it. I put in the Instagram posts that I want to do for each day in blue. And right now I have the videos up in green. So, and that's kind of just how I keep track. And as each day goes by, I just cross it off just so I can kind of keep going forward as I go. So that's how I use my monthly, not any other decor, which is fine because I think I like just having the decor from the planner, and I don't have to think again about how I'm going to decorate another spread, which I like. And I also, yeah, use a lot of color coding, which you'll see here in my spreads. So I created a shortened version of the Get Social fill-in page, just a small version that I could use here in the focus section. Really like it, so I can track my daily count of followers each day, and then I can also track weekly how I did on posts. I'm using this for to-do lists, same here, and then just anything I want to make sure that I you know, am doing, you know, here in red. So black is kind of my generic color. Anything in blue is Instagram. Anything in green is videos. And then for this week, I was doing red for anything I wanted to get done, and I highlighted my videos in green. Let's see, so same setup. The setup's not going to change much, but how I'm using the pens will change as we go through. So, oh, I didn't talk about this. I also have like a little, I started with a sticker, but I ended up just printing it on paper and gluing it down to cross off. This says like dinners for the week or something like that, and now I have it for videos for the week, so I can use it. And then I also have my little check off list, so I know I've gotten everything done that I need to do for each section or for each video. So I'm using that. Again, I did the red for things that I wanted to get done for the week and then crossed them off as I did them. And for some reason I didn't highlight this guy, but yeah, I highlighted the videos as well on this spread. Okay, so same setup again, but this time I started trying to utilize my Instagram stories and also posting things to Pinterest. I haven't done that at all in the previous year, and I wanted to start doing that here in 2020. So in order to do that, I've been kind of using color coding to denote where things are going to go. So anything in the lighter blue is a Instagram story post, and then now anything in purple is for Pinterest. So that is something new, and that's what I'll be doing throughout the rest of the month and probably going forward, just color coding those posts so I don't forget about them. And same setup, like I said, I just mentioned before, having a little bit of a rougher week, like I said, so sometimes things didn't happen the way I wanted them to, and it just kind of shifted everything forward. But yeah, just keeping track of how I have everything set up, and same kind of color coding thing I mentioned before. And then this is the last one. I haven't actually even posted the last after the pen yet, but I'll do that after this video is done. And then, yeah, so basically the same setup, nothing new here, except for I started to kind of shorthand some of these posts. I wouldn't have to write it all the way out, so they'd be underneath the actual Instagram posts. Then I would just denote where they were going from there, and that ended up working out a little bit better too, a little bit easier for me, and I didn't have to keep referencing my color coding. So yeah, that's the end of my social. This is set up on my currently for for growth and just trying to keep track of where I'm going and how far I've got. So I'll be using this for the next month. And then, like I said, we get into budget and work week, which we won't get into. But yeah, so that's it. That's my flip through of my January monthly spreads. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye.